All right. Yes, I'm glad to see you all. Hi, Katie. How are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, good, good. All right. Well, let's start this session. I just made this coaching call live on my Tom Ferry Facebook group. It's not a big group. It's a group I have for my clients. So if you want to see it there and watch it afterwards, which I would strongly recommend. But let me start for introducing Katie Day, top producing agent in Texas. She created a team of agents and she's killing it on social media. I want to give a couple of minutes to Katie to introduce herself and tell us a little more about you.
For sure. I mean, you just kind of covered my life story. So, I don't know what else I'll be able to provide. No, I'm kidding. So hey guys, what's going on? My name is Katie Day. I got into residential real estate in 2016, started a team in 2018, and we've been growing it since then. And we, obviously assist buyers and sellers here in the great state of Texas. So really excited to be here today and appreciate the invite.
Wonderful, wonderful. Tell me a little more about your journey, how you can become top destination in Texas that everyone knows in ecosystem in such a short period of time. 6 years is very short.
It feels like forever. I'll tell you that. I don't think everyone knows me, but I appreciate you saying that. I think that one of the great things about the ecosystem and about Tom Ferry is the amount of like networking and masterminds and, community that we have. It was actually something I was talking about earlier today is that everyone's at different brokerages and things like that, right? So like in your brokerages, you find people that like help you to grow and help you to learn. And at some point, sometimes you feel like you don't have that anymore. And that's one thing that a few of us, Glenda and a few others were saying like, hey, like we found that in Tom Ferry, like there's always people to help you with anything that you need. That's where, I think that, in the ecosystem, like I always try to lend, information or my experiences whenever I'm able to help, because so many people have done that for me. That's, I think, just what I've tried to do in the time that I've been with Tom Ferry is try to add and give value wherever I can.
Wonderful. So Katie, if you know me, I'm a big fan of numbers. Can you share some numbers with me? What's your production? How many agents you have on your team? And what is your top lead source that you use? I know you're pretty big on social media. How many leads you getting from social media? Share some numbers so we can copy your success and implement in our day-to-day business and schedule.
Yeah, for sure. So as far as our team goes, we currently have 11 total agents. So my husband and I run the team, and then we have 9, sales partners or buyers agents or, agents on our team. And as of today, I think we're sitting at about 170, units on the year closed and pending. Obviously we're in Texas, so our price point's lower. So we talk in units instead of volume. If we were in California, we'd be telling you that we're selling, hundreds of millions of dollars of property, but we're sitting at about 70 million, in volume or so, on, 170 units closed and pending on the year.
That's pretty impressive. Wonderful.
Thanks. As far as lead sources go, our top 3 lead sources are our past clients in Sphere, agent to agent referrals, and then YouTube. Those are the 3.
YouTube, agent to agent referrals. I see that my agents in my coaching team can copy some of your success. So can you give us a little more in-depth action plans and what you do in terms, let's talk about YouTube for a sec, because I promise to share your expertise in social media marketing first, and then agent to agent referrals, and what's your strategies around SOI. So let's start with social media, YouTube. I know you're killing it on Instagram. I see your posts every single day. If I wake up and I don't see Katie, something's going wrong in this world.
I know. I actually, I'm really frustrated because I've been having issues getting reels posted right now. So I haven't posted one this week, and I have a bunch that I just shot that I want to post, and it's very upsetting. So, first world problems for sure, but it's been a rough week for me. As far as YouTube goes, we've been putting videos on our YouTube channel for a very long time. The content, that we put out is a little bit different from some of the other people that are kind of known for YouTube in the ecosystem. We do kind of that, searching for things in Houston, right? Like what people would Google if they were moving to, Houston or moving to Texas, as far as like, what's the cost of living, what's it like living in Houston, just the kind of evergreen content, generally boring, but evergreen content type videos. So we do those. I'm actually working on an outline for a script or an outline bullet points for home prices and values, and we're seeing a lot of price decreases, but does that mean values are dropping, and that type of video, right? The things that people are searching, housing crashes, values dropping, things like that. So taking a lot from KCM and things like that. And then we also do a lot of like highlighting the community, and highlighting local businesses and entrepreneurs and, local restaurants and bars and stuff like that, which a lot of people say you shouldn't do, or that should be on a separate channel. We've done over 150 of those videos. So at this point, like I'm not pulling it off of my channel. I'm kind of like, too far in to change it. And it still works for us. So that's kind of what we do on our channel. And yeah, I mean, it's been a great opportunity for us to grow our business. As we've grown the team, we've started to feature, our team members in videos and things like that. So that, if Roman, you contacted me to move here, and we got on a consult and it's me and my agent, Mike, you'd be like, oh, I've seen Mike in a video. Like, this is so cool. Here's both of you. And we do a consultation. So it's kind of YouTube. I don't know if anyone has, specific questions, or if Roman, you have anything you want me to dig deeper on.
I have one. Tell us
Okay.
about your production and your scheduling. How's the production look like? What gear are you using? What's the consistency of your videos? The SEO? Tell us more about that, so we all know how to achieve the success with YouTube.
Yeah. So, as far as YouTube goes, I think I had a camera and a mic, and I bought a gimbal, and I spent probably, a couple $1,000s on camera equipment, and it sat in my closet of my office because I didn't want to learn how to use it. Right. I shoot a lot of YouTube videos. I have like a little tripod on my desk for my phone, and I shoot them on my phone. And then I have a little Sony camera that I use that's connected right now that I'm zooming on. And sometimes I just talk direct to camera and do them here. So I need to get on a better content schedule for YouTube, Instagram and short form, TikTok and Reels, and YouTube Shorts has been more on, the vertical video has been more on what we've been doing. And, I need to get more on a better schedule for YouTube. But when we were doing a lot of the talking head style videos, I was putting, an hour or two in my schedule each week to script out and then shoot those videos.
Very interesting. So you post weekly content on your YouTube. What kind of content would you suggest to us that works the best in your opinion? Is this local, like you mentioned, restaurant videos, move to Texas type of videos, educational? Where should we focus our attention on, or it should be a good mix? So if it's a mix, then give me the receipt for the salad.
So as far as YouTube goes, like keep in mind, YouTube is owned by Google, right? And it's a search engine. So, the local restaurants and things like that, like most YouTubers aren't going to do that. If I could do it all over again, we probably wouldn't have those on this channel. Like what I would focus on are the things that people are searching if they're moving to your area. Right. So if I was looking to move to Miami, I'm going to Google what are the best neighborhoods in Miami, are like what suburbs exist in Miami, what is the cost of living in Miami, like is there crime in Miami? Like I would be Googling all of those things, like the questions that people are asking you, right? The home informational, buyer and seller guides and things like that. Like no one's Googling like what is earnest money and like watching a video on earnest money, so like right. We have those videos on our channel. They're also embedded on our webpage. They also get sent out to buyers throughout the process, right? Of like, hey, the earnest money is now due and click this video if you want to hear more about earnest money. Like no one ever clicks, right? They just call you and ask you what it is. But the content's there for those, like we've all had that detail oriented client that's like, wants to watch those types of things and has 47 million questions and, needs that amount of detail, right? So we have that there, but obviously, it's not something that people are like binge watching. So I would focus in on what's happening in the market. I would focus in on what that means for buyers and sellers. Like, don't just read off like, well, there were 14 properties listed and 13 sold and blah, 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 blah. Like, what does that mean? Right. So like, what are the conversations you're having with clients on what that means for them if they're looking to buy, right? If they already own a home, what does that mean for them if they're looking to sell? That would be that. And then the Googleable things that people would be searching if they're looking to buy or sell in your area.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I don't know what pops up Jeremy under there, but my name's Nathan. I was curious. I know you said you've been in the business for about 6 years now. So you've grown this much in about 6 years. What are you thinking you're going to look like, or at least your business is going to look like in about the next 5 years or so?
It's a great question. I don't even know what I'm eating for lunch today. But so what's really funny about that question is like, who here's been to Summit, right? Or like Elite Retreat, or, I don't know how long everyone here's been in coaching, but like, have you guys all been to like a Tom Ferry, like Tom Ferry event? Okay. Well, spoiler alert, there's going to be a moment in time at Summit, if you guys are going, and you should all go because it's a blast, but where he like makes you sit down and like think about like where you're going to be in 5 years, right? And think about where you're going to be in 10 years and write a letter to yourself and like do all of these things. And that's normally when I get up to go to the bathroom or grab a snack or like whatever, because I'm a very like, I plan for this year and then I plan for next year. And like, I don't need the bigger picture to like drive me. At our last mastermind we had, I actually did like kind of map that out because I was like, what are we doing? Like, what does this look like in 5 years? So my main goal in 5 years is to be out of production and to empower my agents to run their businesses. We will likely be expanded to multiple cities throughout Texas and just kind of continue to grow it. We've been very fortunate to grow our business organically, over the past 6 years. So we didn't do any ad spend or anything like that. It was, as I said before, like agent referrals, past clients in Sphere. So we spent money pouring back into our people, which has done well for us, but we've started to add in, like Google PPC and other things to see like, okay, if we're spending some money and can get an actual ROI, then we should spend the money. So we're starting to like try to diversify our business to make sure like if we could pick this up and move it somewhere else, like, is it repeatable and scalable? So that's kind of like our testing now for the future.
That's awesome. As far as like YouTube ads, like, are you doing any YouTube ads or is it organic?
We are not doing any YouTube ads. A lot of people do them. Obviously, David Caldwell and Jason and lots of other people have like done, webinars and classes, and people have success with them. Some YouTubers like, oh, it's going to kill your channel. So I've never really done them. One of the next things that we're going to do as far as marketing is run targeted YouTube ads for our listing videos. Because then as we're moving into a different market than we were in 2021, like then we can go to sellers and be like, oh yeah, we're getting 10,000 views on our property videos so that's something that we're like going to start testing soon, just to have additional value for sellers. Maybe not value for sellers, but value prop for sellers, perceived value from sellers on listings.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions so far?
Yeah, I got a quick one. So Roman has been aggressively suggesting that I get into doing all these videos. So I started doing the short form videos, posting them on the shorts and TikTok and Instagram Reels. What should I be paying attention to in order to know what's kind of working? My first one got 23,500 views. My second one got 377. The next one got 6,200.
This is on TikTok, Nick.
This is on Reels.
On Reels. Okay. Shoot me a DM on Instagram and like I'll take a look at your profile. I think the biggest thing with Instagram and with TikTok is consistency, right? Mm-hmm. So like you're going to have those that just pop off and you're like, this was a terrible video and it was boring and I hated shooting it and I can't believe people watched this, right? But it's like once people start engaging, then like the algorithm's like, oh, this might be good. And like it starts pushing out and then suddenly you have 20,000 views and you're like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And then you put out like the best video ever. You like have a great hook. You like thought you scripted it out well and like 4 people watch it and you're like, wow, this is, I think putting out content, especially for like shorts, putting out content that resonates with your clients and with your target audience is important, right? So like, what are the things especially if you have clients that you're like close-ish with, right? Like, what are things that concern you about the market? What are things that you want to hear about? Like having those conversations, like, hey, I'm trying to put out more content. Like, I just want to make sure that like what I'm saying resonates with people and like ask them, right? Because like, you have those clients that like you guys are, have a good relationship and have rapport, and then I think it is really just comes down to consistency and regularly putting out content. And I think Byron Lazine, for those of you that know him or don't know him, you should follow him on Instagram or TikTok, wherever you guys may be. But he made the decision basically in December of last year that he was going to try TikTok and started repurposing, like, because he does like a ton of podcasts and all these things. He started repurposing stuff like this into TikToks and his podcasts and all of the things into TikToks. And like he puts out up to 3, sometimes 5 TikToks a day. And like when you go through his page, he has similar things of like ups and downs of views, but like there's no denying that the cumulative effect is growing significantly, right? So the reach is growing significantly. And like his, since he does a lot more of like podcasting and he has a media company. So like, don't think that like the standard is 5 TikToks a day. He literally owns a media company, but like the proof is there, right? Of the consistency. So even if that's just 1 a day or 3 a week until you can get to 1 a day, I would just keep putting out content and then continue to go back through it and see, which ones are the hits and start trying to like kind of copy that content, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And do you think it has more to do with the content itself, or is there a recipe in the hashtags that you think help, or not really?
Hashtags help some, but like even when I go through analytics, it'll be like, you had 14 views from hashtags, so like I think to some extent it's the content. If you're being slightly controversial, like I'm not saying to go out there and start like making crazy political or, religious statements or anything like that. But like if you're slightly controversial or you give your opinion, right? Like people love to tear that apart, especially on TikTok. So like I did a video on like, not speaking in a house, not talking about a house in a house. And I was like, 99% of sellers are going to have a camera in their house. And like, people are like, you're ridiculous for thinking that. And I'm like hyperbole. Like I'm clearly don't think that 99% of people have cameras in their homes, but like, it is what it is. So it's funny because like that video got like, 15,000 views on TikTok and like a ton of comments. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, like clearly I know that 99% of people, like I should have said 100% of people and, whatever. So I would just give opinions if you're talking about things and be like, and this is what I think type stuff. And like, it'll encourage engagement.
All right. Well, good tips. So far, so good. Thank you for sharing, Katie. We also want to hear a little more on agent-to-agent referrals, because when the topic comes to, do you have a buyer who wants to move to Houston who I'm supposed to refer him to, Katie is the person to go. So first, before I move forward, I want you all to connect with Katie the way I explained and start building the relationship with her, because she will be sending you referrals as well as you can exchange referrals with her. She's a huge hub for all these potential buyers and sellers coming to your neighborhood. But Katie, can you share with us, what are your strategies of building that agent-to-agent referrals to the point that everyone knows you?
Yeah. I mean, I think that you do have to be really intentional about it. And I think that, again, like being a member of the Tom Ferry ecosystem has been very beneficial for that. I think step 1 is that you guys should all make sure your Illume profiles are updated. We go through on a regular basis and check to make sure all of our team members' profiles are updated, because like mine is. So like I need to make sure theirs are as well. But, make sure you have a picture. If you have some sort of intro video, even if it's just you talking in your phone, you should upload that. Make sure you have your reviews linked. And then the bio in your Illume profile should be like agent facing, right? So like, it shouldn't be like Katie Day is a, wonderful realtor that blah, 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 blah. Like mine literally says like, my husband and I run a real estate team in Houston, and a lot of our business comes from agent referrals and blah, 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 blah. Right. So like it is directed to you, Brian, as a real estate agent. If you're looking at it, you're like, oh, wow, that's awesome. Like they do a lot of agent referrals, they this, they that. Like I'm not talking about like I earn top dollar for my sellers and help buyers find, like everyone knows that's our goal for our buyers and sellers, right? So make sure Illume's updated, because like oftentimes people will go to the Facebook group to like ask, the Tom Ferry referral group or the core page or elite page or wherever. But sometimes before even doing that, they'll search in Illume before even making that request. So I would make sure you do that. And then as far as like going to events, it's important to like get out there and talk to people. And it's like, it's awkward and it's uncomfortable, but like everyone also feels that way. So just like get out there, talk to people. I would, if you guys are going to Summit, like be intentional with who you want to meet, right? Like obviously like you guys do these group calls. So like you see each other. So like meet up with each other, right? Like you have a common, something in common, having the same coach, but like, depending on where you are, like look at your feeder markets. So where people are moving from to Texas and where people are moving, from Texas to elsewhere, like those are the agents that I want to talk to, right? So if you go to howmoneywalks.com, there you'll be able to see like where the money is going from your city or from your state or from your county, or state. And I would reach out to agents, go to a Loom, look them up, and reach out to those agents. And I'd be like, hey, Daniel, like I'm going to be at Summit. Are you planning on going? Awesome. Do you want to grab coffee on Tuesday morning? Or, do you have plans? Like whatever. Are you going to any happy hours that I could meet you at? There are just so many opportunities to be able to meet up with people at Summit outside of like sitting in the room, like as far as like meetups and masterminds and happy hours and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I think, and then after the event, being intentional with like staying in touch and following up and connecting, I think is important, because it's like, if I meet you and we have a conversation, but then like we never talk again, like you're probably not going to send me a referral. But like if we're having conversations and regularly engaging on, Instagram or wherever, like there's definitely a higher probability of that.
That's true. And connecting, talking, and I like the way you said, everyone's scared to open up that conversation. But when we do, only good things happen. We're all part of the ecosystem, and it's not going to hurt to say hi.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I mean, this is like one of the most welcoming communities, I think. I've been in other coaching programs and things like that. And like going to some of those events, like you ask them over a business card, like, oh, I didn't bring any. You're like, okay, like it's a networking thing, and like Tom Ferry, it's like, oh, here's 47 business cards. Like, how can I help you in your business? Like it's such a welcoming community. So.
All right. I also want to ask a question on agent-to-agent referrals. You know me, I've been bringing this up many, many times on coaching calls and group calls. So gather the information from the agents who's killing in their own local market, and learn how to make your referral network as big as possible.
Yeah, I have a quick question about agent-to-agent referral. So on top of like staying in touch with clients and all that kind of stuff, do you set aside time blocks to nurture those relationships, or how do you make sure that you're still touching those agents in all those areas that feed your market and still come across as, genuine and not trying to sound needy, if you will?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's where Instagram and social media comes into play. People, like, as far as Instagram goes, in social media, like I think of it of like, this is my way to stay in touch with my sphere. This is my way to stay in touch with referral partners. And this is also my way to like focus on new business as well. Right. So like, those are the three things that is like kind of our goal, for social and for all of that. I think that like, if you have genuine relationships with people, then like just like commenting on their stuff or like reacting to a post or, like having conversations like isn't weird. But I think if you were to like in Florida, right, like you guys have a lot of people moving from like the Northeast and like Chicago and Illinois, whatever. Like, so if you're just like DM every Chicago agent to be like, man, Chicago winters suck, you should send your people to St. Pete, like, and like send something like that every like quarter, like people would be like, okay, this Nick dude is just like, what, like, why are you like sending me a DM when we've never actually had a conversation before? But like, if you were to like DM them and be like, hey, like, I've had a ton of clients move from Chicago. So like, do you want to do a Facebook Live together? Or do you want to do an Instagram Live together? Oh, awesome. Like, are you going to Summit? Okay, let's meet up and have a coffee. Like, and then like, you guys are like actually friends. Like when you like DM your friends, they're not like, why are you coming? Why are you sending me a message, man? Like they like have a conversation. Right. So I think that like, a lot of people just do that to where they're like, send me your referrals. And like, we get those DMs all the time from like lenders and, insurance reps. And like, so just think about like, how would you want to create a relationship with someone? And like the referrals will come.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Thanks.
All right. Well, we pretty much finishing the hour, the coaching session, not the hour, but the coaching session. What I want us to do is I want everyone who's on this call and everyone who's watching this video on Facebook Live, please connect with Katie and make that first step to connect and build this relationship. I know Katie, she sells a lot of homes. She will connect you with her members of her team, right? Would you, Katie?
Yeah. So our team, yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you just say, hey, this is my team. You can all connect and we can be helpful to each other. And this way we'll have someone in Houston, Texas, and we'll have this opportunity to get referrals from Katie as well. I bet you don't know anyone in New York, but here's Nathan in Florida, in all other states. I coach agents from across the country, from California to Connecticut. So we need to start building that team. I expect that my agents would reach out to you, let's say Instagram message or something casual like that, and start building that team and expanding your network and having such a big agent in our referral network as well. With your permission, Katie.
Yeah, sounds good.
I
Okay.
have a quick question about agent-to-agent referrals. What are like the top 3 states, do you think, in your opinion, that you're getting referrals from, like that are going to Texas?
For us, it's a lot from California, Oregon, and then like New York.
That makes sense.
Yeah. The website you recommended, Moving Money, I never heard about it. I want to write this down.
Yeah, here
How does it
I'll here it's How Money Walks, and I'll drop it in. I'll drop it in the chat. But it basically shows where the IRS tax migration, right? Across both county lines and state lines. So you can click on your state and it's going to show you like from Texas, people are moving from, ABC, and then where they're moving to. And then you can actually click on your county and it'll tell you like from your county, what other counties people are moving to, right? So like we see a lot of in Texas moves and things like that. And yeah, so we can see like which counties get a little bit specific.
Yeah, it's very helpful. How many walks? Okay, all right. Well, any other questions or should I wrap this call up? Any questions? All right, well, then I'm gonna thank Katie for joining us. It was a big pleasure to see you. I will see you on Summit. I will highly recommend to go to Summit this year to meet with great agents like Katie, build a referral network, learn a lot from top speakers, and most importantly, have good time. It's not just a business trip, it's fun. It's learning and referral exchanges and networking and just seeing Dallas is fun. So I hope I'll see you all, and I'll definitely see you, Katie, at the Summit, and I hope we're gonna have a coffee or something, right?
Sounds good.
All right, thank you all. I'll see you next Friday, 12 o'clock.